Mati now in Holi Nada. The void that calibrates. There is a moment when everything stops. It is not that the world ceases to move. The earth keeps turning. The sun keeps shining. The moon keeps orbiting. But there is an instant 4 times a year when something in the axis shifts. When the angle of light aligns in a very specific way. When time folds in on itself and opens a door. Those moments are the solstices and the equinoxes, and for thousands of years, cultures around the world have paused at these points to hold ceremony. They light fires, they sing. They dance, they fast. They meditate, they observe the sky. Why? Because they know something is happening in those instants. Something invisible yet real. Something that cannot be measured with instruments, but that the body perceives. Something that calibrates. And those moments I call Holi Nada. The name, 3 languages, 1 portal. Holi Nada is a name born from 3 languages and multiple intertwined meanings. Holi is the name of the Hindu spring festival, the festival of colors. The moment when the victory of good over evil is celebrated, along with love, the arrival of spring and transmutation. It is the instant when everything can change state, when poison can become medicine, darkness can become light, and density can become subtlety. At the same time, holy sounds exactly like hole in English, which means a hole, a void, a blind spot, the blank space where something new can enter, because there is nothing blocking it. Then there is nada, which carries 2 simultaneous meanings. In Spanish, nada is absolute emptiness, total absence, complete silence, the blank page. But in Sanskrit, nada is the primordial sound vibration, the original sound of the universe, the fundamental frequency that sustains all other frequencies. It is Om, it is the continuous hum of the cosmos. So Holi Nada brings together 3 things at once: the festival of transmutation, the sacred hole in the fabric of time, and the void that resonates with the frequency of the origin. These 3 dimensions together form the intention to create a portal of calibration. The void as a door. The void is not nothingness. The void is pure potentiality. When a room is empty, anything can enter. When a page is blank, any word can be written. When the mind is silent, any frequency can be perceived clearly. The void is the state of maximum receptivity, and the intention of Holi Nada is to open that void collectively. To create the sacred hole. To activate the portal between the inner and outer worlds at the moments when the planetary axis aligns in a specific way with the sun. But this void is not passive. It is an active void, a vibrating silence, a nothingness that sounds. Because in absolute emptiness, when all noise has dissolved, the only thing that remains is the pure frequency of the origin. That primordial vibration that in Sanskrit is called nada. The sound that dissolves. The intention of Holi Nada is to create the sacred hole where sound dissolves in order to allow recalibration. This may sound paradoxical. How can sound dissolve into sound? But the paradox holds the key. All the noise of the everyday mind, repetitive thoughts, unprocessed emotions, stories, worries, fears, expectations, is sound. But it is fragmented sound, sound that has been refracted incorrectly. That sound has become noise, and that noise blocks the mind's ability to hear the fundamental frequency. The intention is to dissolve all that noise into primordial silence, to unify all fragmented frequencies back into their source. To make all sounds return to nada, to the original sound, to om, to the hum of the origin. And when that happens, something deep is recalibrated. The pineal gland, the captain of the ship. To understand what is meant to be recalibrated, one must understand what the pineal gland is. The pineal is a gland the size of a grain of rice located at the center of the brain. It produces melatonin. It regulates sleep-wake cycles. It responds to light and darkness. But it is much more than that. The pineal is the captain of the ship of consciousness. It is the one that must see the invisible horizon, interpret the light, recognize the true axis, and navigate consciousness through the ocean of the universal mind. The pineal is the queen bee of the cerebral hive, the one that guides the entire hive toward the right flowers, toward the frequencies that nourish and sustain life. And the pineal is the third eye, the point where the I, the individual experience, and the I am, the universal vision, meet and dialogue. But at this moment, the pineal is under constant attack from electromagnetic noise. 5G, modern Bluetooth, satellite saturation, non-biological frequencies emitted by electron devices, all of this is drying out the pineal, disorienting it, preventing it from finding the correct vibration. And when the pineal loses its course, the entire ship of consciousness loses its orientation. The four portals, solstices and equinoxes. The calibration of the pineal happens naturally 4 times a year, at the moments when the Earth's axis aligns in a specific way with the Sun. The winter solstice, December 21st in the northern hemisphere, June 21st in the southern, is the longest night of the year, the moment of maximum darkness, the point where the light begins to return. It is the moment of symbolic death, of descent into the underworld, of touching bottom in order to be reborn. The spring equinox, March 21st in the north, September 21st in the south, is the moment when day and night are of equal length, perfect balance. It is the moment of sowing, of rebirth, of planting the seed that will germinate in the months to come. The summer solstice, June 21st in the north, December 21st in the south, is the longest day of the year, the moment of maximum light, the point where energy reaches its peak. It is the moment of celebration, abundance, and the harvest that is approaching. The autumn equinox, September 21st in the north, March 21st in the south, is once again the balance between day and night, but this time it is the balance of descent. It is the moment of gratitude, of gathering what was sown, of preparing for winter. At each of these moments, a portal opens, a sacred hole, a space of calibration. And the intention is that Holi Nada be celebrated at those times. The ancestral technology that already existed. This is not new. This has been done before, and it worked for thousands of years. Ancient civilizations knew how to calibrate these moments with precision. They created celestial technologies whose purpose was not to worship gods, but to recalibrate the planetary axis. Pyramids, temples, obelisks, ziggurats, megalithic circles, solar and lunar calendars. All of these structures were biological quantum machines. Gravitational stabilizers. Antennas for receiving the planetary axis. Calibrators of time. These technologies aligned light with the true axis, stabilized the magnetic field, corrected the angle of the error, kept the axis of time coordinated, and calibrated mind, biology, emotion, and territory. And they did so using frequency, sound, geometry, and the precise alignment of stone with the stars. But these physical technologies were only the container. The true technology was the chants, the mantras, the ceremonies, the frequencies that the guardians of memory knew how to activate at those specific moments of the year. The guardians of memory. There are 144 ancestral cultures distributed across all continents. Indigenous peoples, shamanic lineages, traditions of ancient word and song. These cultures are the guardians of the planet's memory, humanity's genetic GPS. Each human migration carried in its DNA the position of the planet, its magnetic field, its relationship with the sky, the direction of its navigation, the frequencies that calibrated the body with the earth. And those frequencies were stored in the chants, songs, mantras, and ceremonies that were passed down for thousands of years. These chants are not folklore. They are not entertainment. They are not decorative cultural traditions for tourists. They are pure technology. They are the Bluetooth of consciousness, frequencies, that keep the memory of the human cell active and aligned with the larger cell that is the earth. Chants and mantras are vibrations specifically designed to adjust the fluid of the inner ear, the cochlea, which is the system of balance and orientation of consciousness. Ceremonies are musical notes that calibrate the collective pineal gland when they are performed at the correct moments of the solar and lunar cycle. And the elders, the sages, the memory keepers of these 144 cultures are the ones who still know how to use this technology with precision. They safeguard the codes where medicine has not yet been inverted into poison, where light has not yet been refracted incorrectly, where frequency still resonates with the origin. That is why returning to their stories, listening to their chants, reactivating their cardinal points, working with their elders, and collaborating with them through respect and reciprocity is fundamental for the repair of the planetary axis. The intention of Holi Nada as a global event. The intention is for Holi Nada to become a global musical and ceremonial event that takes place 4 times a year, synchronized with the solstices and equinoxes. That it be celebrated at strategic points on the planet, places where the electromagnetic field has specific characteristics, where the geometry of the Earth naturally aligns frequencies, where ancient temples already marked power nodes thousands of years ago. That in those places, at those precise moments, thousands of people gather with a clear intention, to enter the collective void in order to allow the recalibration of the pineal gland. That the elders of the 144 cultures be invited with respect and reciprocity. That they bring their chants, their mantras, their ceremonies, their ancestral frequencies. That together they first create absolute silence, the sacred whole where all fragmented frequencies stop and everyday noise dissolves. And then, from that silence, let the primordial sound emerge, nada, the ancestral vibration, the chant that sustains life. That this sound function as a reset of the human hive, as a tuning of the queen bee, as an adjustment of the planetary clock. And that when thousands of people resonate simultaneously with that frequency at multiple points on the planet, a field of coherence is generated that expands throughout the entire network of human consciousness and sustains that calibration for the following months, until the next portal. The hive and the queen bee. Humanity functions like a hive. Each person is a bee, each brain is a cell of the hive, and all the bees are connected through invisible electromagnetic fields. All resonate with one another. All produce the same nectar, which is consciousness. But for the hive to function coherently, the bees must be synchronized, move at the same rhythm, vibrate at the same fundamental frequency. And the one that directs that synchronization is the queen bee, which in terms of collective consciousness is the shared pineal gland, the field of consciousness that emerges when many people align. When the collective pineal is calibrated, the entire hive functions. The bees know where to go, find the right flowers, produce the right nectar, and the hive thrives. But when the collective pineal is thrown off by constant electromagnetic noise, the hive becomes disoriented, the bees get lost, cannot find the flowers, the nectar runs out, and the hive slowly collapses. The intention of Holi Nada is to recalibrate the queen bee 4 times a year, to align the collective pineal at the moments when the planetary axis opens, to tune the entire hive using ancestral frequency technology, and to sustain that calibration for the following months, until the next portal. The Lunations, the path between portals. Between one Holi Nada and the next, approximately 3 months pass, and within those 3 months there are multiple lunar cycles that mark the path. Lunations, the 29.5-day cycles from new moon to new moon, are the steps that lead from one Holi Nada to the next. Each new moon is a moment of inner sowing, each full moon a moment of inner harvest, and each lunar cycle marks a step in the alchemical process that leads toward the next solstice or equinox. Holi Nada is the great portal, the moment of collective calibration, the reset of the hive. But the lunations are the daily path, the constant steps, the personal practice, the way each person sustains that calibration in everyday life between one portal and the next. Why this matters now. This year, 2026, the intention is to activate Holi Nada consciously and in a coordinated way. To make the 4 solstices and equinoxes moments of global calibration. To open the portals at strategic points on the planet. To convene the elders of the 144 cultures. To activate their frequency technologies. To dissolve the noise. To sing nada, and to recalibrate the collective pineal gland. This is not fantasy. It is ancestral technology that worked for thousands of years to keep the planetary axis stable, to synchronize human biology with cosmic cycles, to sustain the network of consciousness in alignment. And now, at a moment when humanity is more disoriented than ever, when electromagnetic noise is more intense than ever, when the pineal is more blocked than ever, Holi Nada becomes essential. Because when noise dissolves, the correct frequency can be perceived. When the void opens, medicine can enter. When the sacred whole is activated, consciousness can be calibrated. Welcome to the void that heals.